August 31st, 1997. Paris, the night that changed history forever. For years, the world believed that everything about Princess Diana's final hours had been uncovered. Every photo, every second, every heartbeat. But there was one person, one silent witness, who never spoke. Until now. He wasn't a bodyguard. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Yet what he saw that night, in the tunnel, and later inside the hospital, could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Diana's final moments. For 27 years, he stayed hidden, watching the investigations, the documentaries, the conspiracy theories, all while carrying a secret that haunted him every single day. Now, for the first time, he's decided to speak. Not for fame, not for money, but because his conscience wouldn't let him stay silent any longer. Tonight, you'll hear his words. The truth from the man who was there when history was written in blood and betrayal. This is the story of the silent witness of Princess Diana's last night. And what he's about to reveal will change everything. Stay until the end. What you'll hear may shock you. August 31st, 1997. Paris, the night that changed history forever. For years, the world believed that everything about Princess Diana's final hours had been uncovered. Every photo, every second, every heartbeat. But there was one person, one silent witness who never spoke, until now. He wasn't a bodyguard. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't even supposed to be there. Yet what he saw that night, in the tunnel and later inside the hospital, could rewrite everything we thought we knew about Diana's final moments. For 27 years, he stayed hidden, watching the investigations, the documentaries, the conspiracy theories, all while carrying a secret that haunted him every single day. Now, for the first time, he's decided to speak. Not for fame, not for money, but because his conscience wouldn't let him stay silent any longer. Tonight, you'll hear his words. The truth from the man who was there when history was written in blood and betrayal. This is the story of the silent witness of Princess Diana's last night. And what he's about to reveal will change everything. Stay until the end. What you'll hear may shock you. He was just a driver, or at least that's what everyone believed. His name was Jean-Luc Moreau, a 42-year-old night shift tow operator who worked near the Pont de l'Alma tunnel in Paris. For years, he kept his secret buried under layers of fear and guilt. But as he grew older, the nightmares became unbearable. Jean-Luc wasn't supposed to be near the tunnel that night. He had finished his shift early, parked his truck nearby, and was drinking coffee in the cab when he heard the screech of tires, followed by a sound he would never forget. Metal twisting, glass shattering, a single scream that pierced the night. When he ran toward the tunnel, flashing his hazard lights, he saw the wreckage, the black Mercedes crushed against the pillar. But what caught his attention wasn't the paparazzi running, or the chaos echoing off the walls. It was the silhouette of a man standing just beyond the light. A man in a dark suit, wearing an earpiece, speaking rapidly into a small radio. "I saw him before the police arrived," Jean-Luc says now in his recorded statement. He wasn't panicking. He wasn't helping. He was waiting, watching. When first responders arrived, the man vanished. No one mentioned him in reports, no camera caught him, and no witness spoke of him, except Jean-Luc. But he kept his mouth shut. "I was scared," he admits. 2 days later, someone called me, a man with an English accent. He said, "Forget what you saw. If you talk, you'll lose everything." The next week, Jean-Luc's garage burned down. The fire department called it an accident. He called it a warning. For decades, he told no one, not even his wife. But the memory haunted him. He could still hear Diana's voice faintly from the wreck, the chaos, the flashing blue lights. She was alive, he insists. She was breathing. She was calling for help. When the official report was released, blaming the crash on the driver's intoxication, Jean-Luc wanted to speak. But every time he tried, another reminder appeared. A strange car parked outside his home. A phone ringing at 2 a.m., with no one on the other end. Now, after 27 years, terminally ill and with nothing left to lose, Jean-Luc has decided to speak. "I've lived long enough with this burden," he says. "People think the truth died in that tunnel, but it didn't. It lived inside me, eating me alive. I saw something I was never meant to see, and I can't die with it still inside me." Jean-Luc's confession didn't end with the crash. What he saw after the wreck, just outside the hospital, would haunt him even more. When Diana's car was finally cleared from the tunnel, Jean-Luc followed the ambulance from a distance. "I wanted to make sure she was alive," he explains. "It wasn't curiosity. It was guilt. I felt like I should have done something." He parked near the Pitié-Salpêtrière hospital, the same one where Diana would later be pronounced dead. But what Jean-Luc saw next was no ordinary emergency scene. There were men in suits, not medics, waiting near the emergency entrance. No flashing badges, no hospital uniforms, just suits and dark cars with tinted windows. One of them looked straight at me, Jean-Luc recalls. Cold eyes. Like he knew me. Like he knew I shouldn't be there. Then an argument broke out. A doctor shouting that the surgery team was ready. Another man, one of the suited figures, saying sharply, "Not yet." The doors closed. Silence. Minutes later, Jean-Luc saw the same man who had been in the tunnel earlier, the one with the earpiece. He entered the hospital through a side door. "That's when I knew," Jean-Luc says. "Whatever was happening wasn't just medical. It was planned." When the news broke hours later that Diana had died, Jean-Luc didn't believe it. She was alive when they took her out. I swear she was. Her eyes were open. For years, Jean-Luc kept every memory locked away. But as the years passed, more evidence surfaced. Inconsistencies, delayed responses, missing footage. Each new revelation felt like confirmation of what he had seen. Everyone talked about conspiracies, he says. But for me, it wasn't theory. It was memory. When Jean-Luc finally decided to go public, he didn't choose a journalist or a TV network. He uploaded his confession to a private channel, time-stamped, verified, and addressed to two people only, Prince William and Prince Harry. In the video, his voice trembles. "Your mother didn't die alone. She was conscious. She was calling for help. And there were people making sure no help came." He pauses, eyes full of pain. "Forgive me for staying silent. I thought silence would protect me, but all it did was kill me slowly. Now the truth is yours." Then the screen fades to black. If you believe this witness deserves to be heard, share this story. Comment below what you think Jean-Luc really saw that night. And make sure you subscribe, because in the next episode, we'll uncover who the man in the dark suit really was, and how his name connects directly to MI6. Within 48 hours of Jean-Luc's video going live, the internet exploded. At first, no one believed it. "Just another conspiracy," the headlines said. But within a day, digital forensic analysts confirmed the video was real. The timestamps matched, the voice print matched, and Jean-Luc Moreau was indeed a retired tow operator who had been near the Pont de l'Alma tunnel that night. Then came the bombshell. In the video's metadata, buried deep within the file, was an encrypted document. Inside, a name: Sir Andrew Faulkner, a retired British diplomat, and former MI6 liaison to France in the 1990s. The same man, records showed, who visited the Pitié-Salpêtrière hospital 2 days before Diana's crash, officially to inspect emergency protocols. The same man seen in one grainy surveillance frame outside the tunnel minutes after the crash. And the same man who had quietly resigned from his post just 3 months after Diana's death. When reporters tracked him down to a private estate in Sussex, Faulkner refused to comment. His lawyer released a single statement: "My client has nothing to say about events that occurred nearly 3 decades ago." But others began to speak. A former hospital technician anonymously confirmed that British officials had visited the emergency unit that week. A nurse claimed she was told not to answer media calls after the crash. And a junior doctor, now retired, revealed that certain medical reports had been edited before release. As the truth started to unravel, Jean-Luc's life took a darker turn. His YouTube account was deleted. His email passwords changed. His family's phone numbers stopped working. Then, 2 weeks after the video, Jean-Luc disappeared. Police listed him as missing. His car was found abandoned near the Seine, keys still in the ignition. On the passenger seat lay a handwritten note. "I spoke the truth. If something happens to me, they know why that note went viral." It reignited global debate over Princess Diana's death. The tunnel, the hospital delays, the cover-ups. People demanded answers. Protests erupted outside the British embassy in Paris. The British government stayed silent. But inside Buckingham Palace, sources claimed there was panic. Jean-Luc's disappearance became the new mystery. Had he fled? Or had someone made sure the silent witness would never speak again? Whatever the truth, one thing was certain. The world had finally heard his voice. And now there was no going back. What do you think happened to Jean-Luc Moreau? Was he silenced or did he go into hiding again? Comment your theory below, and don't forget to subscribe for the final part, where we reveal how this confession reached Diana's sons, and what they did after hearing it. Weeks after Jean-Luc Moreau vanished, a file surfaced online, anonymously uploaded, shared thousands of times within minutes. It contained the full, uncut version of his confession. But this time, it wasn't addressed to the world. It was addressed directly to Prince William and Prince Harry. In the video, Jean-Luc's face is pale, his breathing heavy. "If you're watching this," he says softly, "then they couldn't silence everything. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know, your mother fought." She didn't give up. No one knows who leaked the file. But 1 week later, both princes released separate statements, subtle, careful, yet heavy with emotion. William wrote, "There are things about my mother's last night we may never fully understand. But truth has a way of finding its voice. Even after silence, Harry's words were sharper. If there are people who still fear the truth, let them know. We are no longer children." The video spread worldwide. Major networks replayed it endlessly. Hashtags filled social media. The silent witness trended for weeks. And amid all the chaos, one quiet clip went viral. A close-up of Diana's smiling face from her final charity event, with the words, "The truth doesn't die, it just waits." Jean-Luc's fate remains unknown. Some say he escaped to Canada. Others believe his story ended the same way it began, in silence. But his confession changed everything. It reopened questions long buried, and it reminded millions that even in darkness, voices still rise. If this story moved you, share it. Because silence only wins when we stop asking questions. Comment below what you believe happened that night. Subscribe for the next untold story from the world of Princess Diana, where truth, mystery, and memory collide.